Good morning, everyone. Cynthia Ballard here with Breakfast Biz with Cynthia Ballard. And today we have Nicole Kendrick from the CFIB. And I'm really looking forward to talking to you and interviewing you, especially during this time, right? We are in a very interesting time for businesses with COVID. And I know that you and I originally had set aside an introduction about the program. So this is great because I'm going to learn at the same time as our listeners learn too on the benefits for our businesses, your who, what, wheres, and what it is that you have to offer. So Nicole, if we can get started, if you wanted to talk a little bit more to us about what the CFIB does for businesses.
Absolutely. So CFIB stands for the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. We are a lobbying organization that represents businesses from throughout Canada. So we're not just exclusive to Ontario. We currently have 114,000 members with CFIB, and we work as your voice. So we are the ones that push through some legislation to make sure that things are fair for business owners of all sizes. The majority of our members have 10 employees or less, but we do have some companies that have up to 400 employees. So CFIB really is three pillars. We are the voice, we have support and resources, and we also have savings. So there's usually something in there for every business.
Okay, that's fantastic. I didn't realize that. So the savings component, does that mean, so if you're a CFIB member, then you can offer a discounted service resource to those who are part of the CFIB? Or how does that work?
So we have partners that work with us. So some are Chase Payment Tech, TELUS Mobility, insurance, trying to think of the major ones, Scotiabank. So what we do is we negotiate to these businesses or on behalf of small businesses. So we use the weight of the federation to secure the best discounts possible for our business owners. So going back a few years, CFIB actually lobbied the credit card industry and was successful in getting the first ever rate reduction from MasterCard with an organization. So then we've partnered with Chase. So our members get tier 1 rates. So that's the same as Costco and Walmart, but without having to have $3 billion in revenue. But you don't have to just be with Chase Payment Tech. I want to make that clear. If you have any other service provider, excluding like Square, I think that would be about it, or Stripe, most times they will honor a CFIB discount rate. So if you tell them that you're an active member with CFIB, you'll see a rate reduction.
Okay, so that makes sense. So it's kind of, pillars that businesses would require to have their business functioning
absolutely.
and working. And wow, that's excellent. How do you find right now with the shift? I mean, we are 8 months in this pandemic, and obviously a lot of businesses have seen some tremendous hardships, with closures and the threat of a second wave shutdown. How are you seeing this evolve and be different and provide support for businesses through your organization?
So CFIB has been front and center helping small business owners with all the COVID relief programs. So if you remember back early on, when the government announced the rent relief and the CEBA loan and the CERB, we were very, very thankful the government worked very quickly to get some programs out there for small business owners. However, the guidelines and parameters were very narrow. So a lot of business owners didn't qualify for some of those relief programs, or in the case of the wage subsidy, they were offering only 10%. So we went to bat right away, pushing the government, urging them to increase that. Within 9 days, we got the government to lift that wage subsidy to 75%, which was huge. Yes. And it was quick because we all know the government doesn't work very quickly. So 9 days was even fast for our standards. We've continued to push, and the CRA and the government, like we have a video piece coming out on our website where it is Justin Trudeau and Doug Ford urging business owners to contact the CFIB for information, and they are 100% backing the support that we do. Again, something that's not very, it's kind of unheard of, because usually we're the ones pushing them to do something a little bit different. So that's been a huge acknowledgement from the government and from CRA that CFIB is a place to turn to get the information on the ongoing changes to these programs. If anybody's not aware, the CEBA loan has been increased to $60,000 with a 20% forgivable portion. They haven't released the date yet on that, but it is in the works, and you would go to your financial institution to get the ball rolling. And there's been some changes in there. So if you have a personal bank account but still have the deferred expenses, you can now qualify for that loan. So we work really hard to make sure that there is benefits, money, relief, resources for every business owner, again, across the board. So from, the farmers out in the field to the dental offices and everybody in between, we're here working for you.
That's excellent. And how would somebody go about getting involved or becoming a member of the organization?
So we have a couple different options. I'm the area rep for this area. So I take the majority of Essex County and parts of Windsor. And then I have a colleague that works the opposite side. So you can contact me directly, and I can get you in touch with the rep in this area if you fall outside of my area. But you can also go on to our website. So that's just cfib.ca and become a member. It's very easy. And the nice thing about CFIB is you're not locked into a contract with us, and you can be a member for as long or as short as you want to be. So over the last few years, we had a lot of members telling us that the yearly membership just wasn't the way that they wanted to go. They wanted to look to something more monthly in case, they sold their business, retired, or whatever. So we have a monthly option or a yearly option.
Oh, that's a nice
It's very
change
flexible.
Too. Yeah,
Yes.
Very flexible. I do believe, years ago when I had my bead store, I don't know if it was yourself or whoever I met with the CFIB, and at that point that there wasn't really that option. It was the yearly. So being able to offer monthly, I do find a lot of other companies have moved in that direction too,
Yes.
because like you said, we're in hard times. So you don't know what the future looks like. We always hope that we are in business to stay in business, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you don't want to worry about taking those risks. So that's extremely helpful for businesses to know that. And then they also have the access to all of your resources. Feel like they have a voice, right?
Yep.
If it's not a good fit, and then the business can decide from there. So that's an excellent service that you've added there. Now, how do you find mostly? I know that you talked about with all of the help with CERB and the help with the CRA and those type of resources. What other resources do you provide for businesses?
So we one of the things that we do at every contact with a member or a potential member is we do a compliance checklist. So we go through the latest requirements that is coming out. And again, if anybody's not aware, they have hired 58 additional compliance officers to come around and, I'm going to say it, police small business. So they are issuing fines, and these fines start at $350 and can go up to $5,000. So they're looking for things like, policies, procedures, templates, posters. So we go through all of that. And on our website, we have put together a back to business kit. It has the latest templates, policies, procedures, documents, everything that you need for your small business. And that's included in your membership. There's no hidden fees. There's no additional costs. And if you need something specific, you can call we have a group of counselors in Ontario, and every province has their own. You can call our business counselors and say, you know what, I need an employee contract that stipulates this and this and this, and we can help put that together for you. Our website is a wealth of information, and I always want to make sure to tell people to please go Google us, go on our website and see, but keep in mind that as a member, you have a complete back channel that gives you all of this information that is exclusive to our members. So the resources, the policies. If you don't mind, I was talking to a lady yesterday that was asking me a question about a grant.
Mhm.
During COVID, CFIB has also adapted really quickly, and we got out a lot of technology that we did not have before, the iPad, apps on our phone. So while I was talking to her, I was able to text into this group, and Ryan Malik, who's one of our top legislators, lobbyists, he within 5 minutes had sent me the link. So I was able to send her the information for this grant that was just a little blippet from Justin Trudeau, and she was over the moon because she had heard about it, didn't know where to look for it. And, she's got it now, and she's on her way to filling out some applications. So we can work very quickly helping our business owners with questions. And, and if I don't know the answer, so I always tell business owners, feel free, call me first. If I know the answer, I'm going to give it to you because I know that your time is valuable. You're running your business. If I don't know the answer, I'll send it forward to our counselors, and then we get back to you as quickly as possible.
Yeah. And, in hearing what you're saying, I mean, you encompass so much. I mean, a lot of small businesses, they don't have an HR department. They don't have, the policies that they require, or even know where to turn, right? And even from the marketing standpoint, when I meet with a lot of businesses, I see that there's gaps in policies, procedures, or the know-how, right? So a lot of time people rely on Google and maybe take something from the US, and that is totally different than what our regulations are. So to have somebody like yourself to be able to go in there, you advocate for them, but you also provide them with that type of a resource is invaluable.
Absolutely. It's true. The little CFIB sticker that you see in front of people's doors, it also helps keeps the Ministry of Labor out, because they know that as a CFIB member, you have access to all of this information. So you might get the warning as opposed to the fine, because they know, you can make a quick phone call and all that stuff's coming to you. So, we just want to make sure that business owners know, and especially newer business owners, they don't understand sometimes all the requirements. They get their business license from the town that they're in, but nobody tells them that the minute they hire that first employee, they have to have all this other stuff. And it comes as a shock sometimes to them how much more than just running the business that they have to deal with. And the pressures of owning a business, especially during COVID, I'm sure has just, skyrocketed. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more things now that are keeping you up at night than maybe what did in the past. So we want to be here to be your support. Even just somebody to talk to. I've had business owners just call me because they just need somebody to talk to, because they don't know what to do and they just need to let it out. So I'm happy to listen.
Yeah, I mean, in entrepreneurship and owning businesses, it is a huge roller coaster.
Yeah.
When everything's going and you have something like this, and there's other things in our history of times that businesses have gone through, right? We have like the 2008 market crash and those type of things. And, but you have life too, or a disgruntled employee, or how do you protect your business? How do you protect yourself? It's not as simple as, hey, I'm going to start a business and do my passion, and that's all I want to do. There are all of those other things that you have to think about. So it sounds to me that, this is beneficial for, somebody who's just started out, small businesses who don't have, an HR department or the capability to do so, but also larger scale businesses that they're just too busy to have to worry about these things, right? And then Nicole, you can come in and help them with that with the CFIB. So
absolutely,
that's excellent. Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover that you feel that maybe we've missed along the way here, or?
Well, I think it's just important to realize that CFIB, even though we've done a huge amount of work during COVID, we've done a lot of work in the past, like keeping small business corporate tax rate low. That is our founding fight, I guess, 50 years ago, and it's still something that is ongoing today. And our future is still there too. So we are actively pushing the government to delay the proposed increase of CPP, to stop the carbon taxes, and to make sure that the two temporary payroll issues right now. So EI has been lowered to 120 hours per week to become EI eligible, and that's a temporary measure during COVID. But they've also, the federal government has also proposed 10 paid sick days. These are two things that could destroy small businesses if they become permanent. The premise behind them, we get 100%. No employee should ever fear losing their job because of illness or sickness, but putting that expense on the back of small business owners, especially the paid sick days. If you have 5 employees, that's 50 paid days that your employees are entitled to. Where are you getting that money? Mm-hmm. So these are things that we're actively pushing right now. So we're encouraging all small business owners to sign our petitions to take to the government, whether you're a member with CFIB or not. Your voice does matter, and these changes will have a very dire effect on business if they become permanent.
Yes, because I mean, there are many, I mean, everybody gets sick, right? Or your family gets sick, and there's things that you have to take care of. But unfortunately, there are some people who take advantage of that, and then that's on the expense of the small business, right?
Absolutely.
And like you said, that can really threaten a small business in the sense of bearing them, because at the end of the day, who gets that work done that needs to be done while somebody's sick? And they have to either subcontract or hire out, or exhaust resources that way too. So it's not just that that 50 hours for those employees.
Absolutely.
It's beyond too, right? So that's incredible. I didn't realize that you lobby that way for businesses too, and to know that we have that in our community and for us, and to really utilize those services is important as a small business, because sometimes we may feel that we don't have certain rights that the corporate world has, or those type of things. Many businesses here in Windsor-Essex County will say that they kind of feel like they've been forgotten, and especially when the first announcement came out about being able to get the relief from the government for your small business, but you had to have a certain amount for employee wages and all of these different restrictions. And if I remember correctly from hearing you speak before, that again is something that you have helped with, to say, okay, these restrictions is a lot to ask out of these small businesses. And I mean, our small businesses, let's face it, we do encompass a lot of this economy. So you have to make sure that everybody, can stay surviving and viable. And then they did make that change, I think it was a couple months in, those restrictions went down, and it was a lot easier for small business to be able to access that. And it is, obviously CFIB can help you beyond COVID. It's not just, these COVID times, because how long has this been an association in place to help businesses?
We were supposed to be celebrating our 50th year, but we've put all of that on hold, our big, celebration, because clearly we can't get together. But yes, we've been around for 50 years. Wow. And
congratulations, that's phenomenal.
I like to say we're like a little kept secret, but we shouldn't be. I think everybody should hear about us. But I will say that there is one little stat I'll give you, and I'm not big on stats, but generally, yearly, our business counselors answer about 30,000 calls a year throughout Canada.
Wow.
During the first 3 months of COVID, we answered 45,000 calls.
Wow.
So we opened up our call lines to non-members, and we were all working from home and just getting out information and trying to give business owners hope in this very dark time. And I think we did a really good job helping people, not ending COVID, unfortunately, but helping people,
Yes, but I mean, in a sense, though, is services like yourselves. It really helps people stay in it and
Yes.
realize why they're in it. Be able to stay in your passion, keep your businesses open, have the resources available to you. Without, it's very easy to make errors, right? You open a business and you think, okay, well, I can just hire employees, or I can start charging HST, but what do I do after that? Or
Right.
those questions that there's not a book that says, okay, well, you've opened a business, now what?
Exactly.
I mean, there
We
are
should create
books
that, though.
there are books out there, I'm sure, but it's not specific to your area. So what
Right.
better to reach out to somebody like yourself who has the plethora of knowledge and resources to be able to share that, right? So,
and even, if there's businesses that are part of our group that, have their main location is here in Ontario, but they have a second branch or an opening a place in Manitoba or the East Coast or something, their CFIB membership gives them access into those provinces as well for their labor laws and their tax laws and their programs. So it's one number that can help you across the board, and then some of the savings, same thing, like our payroll solutions. I had one business owner saving $22,000 on payroll just from switching over to one of our suppliers.
wow.
And he was with us for many years and didn't know that this was an option. So, just trying to give everybody the information that they can to let them go back to just, I'm opening my business and doing my passion and getting to do that and taking some of the stress off of them.
Yeah, because it's not cookie cutter, right? It's each
No.
business is different. So definitely encourage for them to reach out to you, learn the benefits specifically for their business and how, the resources and the ways that you can help. So again, if you want to share your website address, and we'll also include all of your information inside of like this recording when we share it with the public. So
absolutely. So if anybody wants to reach out and have a conversation with me, there's no fee attached or obligation. They can reach me directly at nicole.kendrick@cfib.ca. You can also visit our website, cfib.ca, and check us out online. Or if you're on our group, which you should be watching this video, you can catch me through the One Network too. You can direct message me or Facebook message me, and we can set up a time to have a conversation and see if CFIB works for you.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Nicole, for your time today.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you taking the time out and joining us on Breakfast Biz with Cynthia Ballard. And we're signing off. And until next time, I'm sure we'll have you come on once COVID is all over.
I hope so. Thanks so much for asking me on.
Thank you.